Welcome to Leverage for Change Coaching and Consulting, where empowering you to achieve your goals is our passion. We provide personalized coaching services to help you identify and reach your full potential. We believe that everyone has the capability to succeed and thrive. Our transformative coaching approach incorporates mindset and action-based strategies and tools to help you heal and thrive. Are you ready to take control of your life and heal your attachment trauma? Email Dr. Christine at leverageforchange@gmail.com to unlock your full potential. Visit my YouTube channel, Dr. Christine, Relationship and Life Coach, to learn more and schedule your free consultation today. Together, we can conquer your goals and elevate your life through healing and personal growth. Leverage for Change Coaching and Consulting, empowering you to achieve greatness.
Hello, everyone. Well, welcome to my live. And
Hello, everyone.
And what I want to discuss today, as you saw the title of the live, it's why is it so difficult to change bad habits? I know if you're anything like most people, including myself, that you'll have had really some more than most challenges in creating any type of change. And what I want to go through is a couple of reasons why it is that anyone will have problems changing. Why is it so difficult to create change? So the first thing, guys, as I've always said, is that in order to create change, you must first be aware of the problem. You have to be aware that there is a problem. Be aware that there is a problem. I'm trying to figure out where my comments are. Wait. Yeah, be aware that there's a problem, guys. Must be aware that there's a problem. Sometimes if we're not fully aware of the extent to which our habits are harmful or the impact it may have on our lives, we may not believe that there's a problem, right? So the first step to change is to create awareness around whether this is a problem. Is this something you can live with? And decide whether this is a problem or it's not a problem. It's something you can live with. Now, how do you decide if something is a problem? What are the consequences of this behavior? If you can look at the consequences of this behavior and say, okay, well, I can live with those consequences, then it's not really a problem. It's when it becomes, the consequences become something that you know you cannot live with, that is going to be detrimental to your health, to your future, to your destiny, to the goals that you have set for yourself, that it is going to be a problem. So the first thing is that you have to be aware that there is a problem, and you'll know it within yourself whether this thing is a problem or not. The next reason why a lot of people can't, they have difficulty changing is that they don't have a strong enough reason why they need to change, right? So, for example, if I don't change this habit in a year, what will my life look like? If I don't change this habit in 5 years, what will my life look like? For example, say this habit is always going out to smoke, getting marijuana, right? Smoking marijuana. How will this affect you in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years? Is it something that, after a while, next thing, this is something that you might end up taking, kind of building on that smoking habit, and then maybe start taking cocaine, you start taking other drugs, and you know that most times when you're smoking, you're not really thinking straight, pretty much, right? You're not thinking straight, and therefore you make wrong decisions. How can these decisions that you make when you're in that state of smoking marijuana, how will they affect you? Maybe you're driving and then you can meet in a serious accident, not only killing yourself, but killing other people who are just driving around and minding their own business, innocent individuals, right? Then you know that most of the times that kind of accident can seriously impact your future. You could be, critically injured. Maybe you lost a leg or this. So you have to think about these reasons. Why is it that it is important? What is your why? You have to find a strong enough why. The reason you have to find a strong enough why is that changing is not easy. Changing is not easy. And a lot of us, a lot of individuals will get, disappointed that maybe they're not changing at the rate they're changing, because they think most people are going to change and think it might be easy, not recognizing that when you decide to change something about yourself, it's going to be uncomfortable. Because remember, you've always been doing certain things in a certain way for years and years and years. You're doing it over and over again for those years. It's become comfortable, even guys, when it's harmful. Even when you know it's harmful, it's become comfortable. It's become familiar to you, right? And so you might not, you find it, it's so difficult for you to even get out of that place if you don't really become aware of it and have a strong enough why as to why you need to stop doing this behavior. The next reason is and this familiarity and comfort, guys, what happens is that the bad habits often provide a sense of familiarity and comfort, even when you know that it's bad for you, right? Because our brain is wired to seek pleasure and to avoid any type of discomfort. It's just the way we're wired. We seek pleasure, we seek out pleasure, but we will avoid discomfort. And so breaking away from familiar patterns where we feel comfortable is going to require consistency and the ability to tolerate and surmount times of discomfort. When you go in to make changes, guys, it's very important that you go in knowing that it is going to get uncomfortable, so that when that happens, you're not going to be in a place and say, oh, I didn't know it's going to be so hard, right? Any change is going to be uncomfortable because you're getting outside of your normal, the zone that you're normally comfortable in, right? Once you break past that, it's going to get uncomfortable. So the other thing is that after a while, our habits, we become so attached to them. We have this psychological and emotional attachment that becomes really deeply ingrained in our identity and becomes almost like an identity. We have this sense of self and identify with those habits, right? And sometimes the people around us also help maintain this kind of identity. Some people will give you nicknames, right? Around this kind of behavior that you normally do. And so that becomes like your identity, making it more difficult for you to change, right? Because you're constantly reminded of this nickname when somebody calls you that nickname. The other thing is that they may even encourage you to persist in this type of behavior because this is who they know. They've known forever. And a lot of people around you don't like it when you change, because then, they like the person that you were before, right? For whatever reason. So you have to sometimes, and that is why it is difficult. It's so important. Later on, I'll talk about that. You have to kind of move yourself out of that environment. There are also these triggers in the environment that you're at, guys, that is going to cause you to remain in that habit, right? It's going to hold you to that habit, because there are going to be certain emotions, there are certain memories that's in that environment, and you're going to be easily triggered. They're really like triggers that keeps you connected to that habit. Because say for example, you're in a family where a lot of negativity is the norm. A lot of cursing and quarreling and everything, and this causes you to be angry, or this causes you to be depressed, or whatever it is. Now, remaining in that environment, that trigger is going to keep you depressed. It's going to keep you angry. So that is one of the things that can happen when you're in a certain environment, that the people around you can keep you in that habit, help you maintain that habit, even though they're not saying I'm going to help them maintain this habit. Is just the fact that you're in that environment, that those behaviors are, those emotions are usually present, that they're going to trigger you to remain in that habit. The next thing is, guys, reinforcement and conditioning. Habits are reinforced by the rewards or perceived benefits they provide. For example, drugs is, it will give you a temporary high. It will give you this temporary high. Say you're feeling depressed or you're feeling stressed, you might go to some kind of drug to kind of almost forget your problems. You're trying to forget your problem, but it's only if you only recognize that that is only going to be temporary. And the more you use this thing, then there's another problem. You get addicted to this drug, right? But it's a temporary high. And most times when individuals go to reach for these temporary highs in drugs or sex or whatever kind of habit that they're trying, pornography, masturbation, stuff like that, if they reach for these things and don't recognize that they're harmful to them in the long run. And sadly, most individuals are usually more focused on short-term gains, short-term gratification, rather than what the long-term gains would be if they were to try to really get past these, work on really getting rid of these bad habits. The other thing is, because there is a lack of immediate consequences, right? We focus on the short-term gains, but there's a lack of immediate consequences. We don't see that, okay, if you're going to be doing pornography or masturbation, then when you actually do find a partner, it's going to be very difficult for you because you're now using your pornography and your masturbation tendencies and your experiences from that to almost like kind of give to rate your partner, to really rate your partner. You're comparing what your pornographic and your masturbation experiences were to what your real life partner would be able to do, to both of the experiences that you might have together. And so pornography and masturbation can be a really bad habit when it comes to relationships, because it does interfere with that intimacy with your partner when you do that, right? And you're also going to be expecting them to do certain things that is just not supposed to be done in a marital, not supposed to be done on a moral basis, because you have this expectation and this experience of other things that you've been embracing. And so now you have to, so these are the things you don't think about, the consequences of what the behavior is. So you just looking for the immediate gratification. And so that lack of looking into the future of what the consequences could be to maybe a future relationship is not there. And so it makes it harder for you to commit to that change. The next thing is environmental and social influences. You live in an area where maybe everybody around you smokes, everybody around you do drugs. It's going to be really hard for you to change that habit in that environment. You have to move out of that environment. Another thing is, maybe it's not the people around you, but it's the proximity of the places that you can do these things, right? For example, lots of bars, lots of clubs, lots of drug people who sell drugs close to, it's reachable. It's easy to get to, right? And the other thing is the transportation. Maybe it's not close enough, but there's easy transportation, the train, buses that you can go take to get these things that you need, whether it be sex or pornography or whatever it is that you do. So easy access to these environmental and social influences can also be a barrier to you creating the change that you need. The next thing, guys, is lack of effective strategies. Lack of effective strategies in terms of, a lot of times, because you've been doing a certain habit for years and years, maybe from your child, maybe it's something that you picked up and you just keep doing it, and now you're 40, 50 years old. You've been doing that for like 40 years, right? So what you need to do, what happens is that you've become so used to it. You've been acting from a subconscious way of responding. It's just like driving a car, And then, when you just start to learn to drive a car, you have to pay attention to every single thing that you do. You have to know where the brakes are. You have to know when you're going to put foot on the gas. If you're doing stick shift, you do the gears, all of those things, right? So just like driving a car, after a while, when you have gotten so used to doing this certain thing, behaving in this certain pattern of behavior, then when you get so used to it, guys, what happens is that becomes subconscious. You're not doing it from the subconscious place. Sometimes you're driving somewhere, you don't even know how you got there, right? You don't even know how you reached to this place. So what you need to do is what you need to do sometimes in this case is to get help, because a lot of individuals, say for example like a coach or a therapist, they're going to be seeing your situation with fresh eyes and notice ways that you may not be noticing because you're so engulfed into this pattern of behavior for years and years, that you've always done the same thing the same way over and over again, right? Also, I'd suggest that you go in with realistic expectations, because a lot of individuals will go into change with unrealistic expectations, meaning they think it's going to be easy. They think that maybe it's not. It's something you just have to somebody just tell you this thing and it will work, not recognizing that there is going to be work to be done. You have to do the work. When I work with my clients, sometimes they also fall into this trap of thinking that the theory, and that is why a lot of people watch a lot of YouTube videos and then they think they can do it themselves, but they don't recognize that they're so immersed into the behavior that they're trying to change that they cannot recognize the pitfalls or to do things differently. Right. And so someone like me coming in and looking at your situation and speaking to you, and I'm seeing things, I can see things that you may not have picked up because you're so immersed into it. Right. So remember that one of the things that I always have to encourage my clients to do is always to pay attention to your wins, because in everything you do, you're going to be doing something and you're going to be doing it right. But you're also going to fail. But what I find is that a lot of individuals will focus more on their failures rather than their successes. And the more you focus on your failures, is the more failure you're going to see. So if you focus on your successes, then you feel encouraged to do more and to do more and to do more, so that you can actually finally change and create the change that you need. So that is it basically, guys. Change is a challenge. It's not easy. Change is never easy. And so it is going to require persistence. It's going to require self-awareness. It's going to require developing new coping skills and strategies and actually do them, actually practice these skills. Because one of the biggest mistakes I see people making is that they know what to do, but they never do it. They know it in their heads, but they never put it into practice. So that is one of the biggest downfalls and pitfalls I see with a lot of individuals who want to create change, but because of this just belief, it's a belief that just knowing what I should do and what is right from wrong, they know the tools, but they never practice it. So guys, and also remember to be compassionate with yourself. Be compassionate with yourself. Nothing that we try for the first time is going to, you ever try riding a bicycle? I can still not ride a bicycle to this day, which is supposed to be easy. I used to. But, if you learn to ride when you're riding, you're going to be twisting all of it, falling off and sideways. And, you have to go on a place where there's nobody, because otherwise you might run into somebody, right? So remember that anything that you're going to be doing new is going to be challenging. It's going to take more, check out a baby when they start walking. They walk and they fall down, and they walk and they fall down, and they walk and they fall down, but they keep getting back up again, right? They keep getting back up again. And this is what you have to practice when you want to really create change. You have to keep getting back up again. So guys, this is all I have for you today. Just some tools and some reasons why I see that, and what I know it is so difficult to create changes. And I hope you learn something from this. And I hope that something will connect with you, that you will recognize, okay, so if I need to do change, then I have to do this. And if you did, then please Remember to like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more content like this. This is Christine, your relationship and mindset master doctor, and your leverage for change. See you next time. Bye-bye.